Hi there, I'm Chris for Tippy Club Gaming, and I've been asked by TT Combat to provide some painting tutorials for the latest Rumbleslam team, Purloined Puissance. It's the latest team joining the Diamond Oasis, and I'm going to show you how to paint the Rostani Trader. In this video, I'll be using these paints. Some of these paints are from my own collection, and some have been kindly provided to me by TT Combat. Let's use Venetian Tan as the base colour for Rostani Trader's fur. Thin it down a little and begin painting all of the areas where we have fur. Allow the paint to dry and apply more coats to get a nice smooth colour. It's better to use more layers of thin paint than one layer of thick paint. Mix some thinning medium with umber wash on your palette. I use 3 drops of wash and 1 drop of medium, just to give me a little more control of the wash. Apply this all over the fur of Rostani Trader. Be wary of the wash pooling on the model because we want to avoid that due to washes drying with a poor finish if they're applied too heavily. Use a clean brush to soak up and move any wash that pools. Once it's dry, if you think you need more, apply some more. We'll use a Venetian Tan again to highlight the fur a little. This will help towards blending to the top highlight, and it looks nice over the tinted base coat. Paint this stage using small strokes to give the effect of light catching fur. Again, using small strokes, we'll apply the top highlight of fur using raw linen. Once we have this done, we'll have a nice base for making this Rostani look like a sand cat. To break up the colour, we'll add some white fur, beginning with strigwa flesh. I add some to all 4 paws, the chest, muzzle, inner ears, and to the tip of the tail. Some small strokes at the edge of the blocked in colour helps to blend the white fur into the brown. There are also some braiding on the shoulders that I only noticed later, so paint them at this stage too. With raw linen we can highlight the white fur. Focus on the tops of these areas. Use small strokes and gradually build this highlight. We can colour the Rostani Trader's trousers at this stage too. The trousers are going to add a lighter tone to the clothes, but also stand out from the white fur. Thin down umber wash with thinning medium, and apply it to the braiding on the shoulders and to the trousers. As always, be careful for the wash pooling on the model. Use marsh green to paint the eyes, and when it dries, add a dot of succulent green to the right side. Dot the eyes in with black. I paint the model's left eye first, then I turn the model upside down for painting their right. The model comes off the screen because I had to get into a comfortable position, so sorry about that. With raw linen we can add the highlight to the trousers and to the braiding on the shoulders. Focus on the tops of the folds and the sections of the braided rope. Mix raw linen and white in a 50-50 mix. Using this mix, use small strokes to highlight the white fur. On the hands, you don't need to worry about the bottoms, but on the tail, I like to bring the highlight a little further round than you'd typically do it. We'll give Rostani Trader markings like a sand cat using trench mud. Sand cats also have the tabby M on their forehead, so paint that in, and give it some lines next to the eyes. For the rest of the markings, they don't have to be straight or symmetrical. On the tail, have the tip be a block colour, then a couple rings around it slightly further down the tail. We can also paint the coin bag that Rostani Trader is holding behind his back at this point. With Adriatic skin, we can add some highlighting to the coin bag. The amount you add can help to age the bag. The more you put on, the older the bag will end up looking, like the leather has cracked and it shows more of the raw hide beneath it. Thin down umber wash will help to blend the Adriatic skin with the trench mud for the weathering. With Capo Red, we'll paint the fez, wristbands and the sash around their waist. Be careful for getting any paint on the fur. If you accidentally get some on the fur, clean your brush off and using water, brush the red paint away. Clean the brush again and repeat until the red is gone. It is quite a strong pigment. Use some paper towel to dab the area dry afterwards. Thin down some red wash, 3 drops wash, 1 drop thinner, and apply it to all of the red areas. Again, do your best to avoid getting any on the areas we've already painted. Once the wash has dried, we can highlight the reds using Viscera Red. On the fez, I like to have a couple uneven areas coming down the sides, just to break up the darker tones a little. It's not really how a highlight would work, but it adds a little bit more of interest to it. We'll start on the jacket now. Using Vexing Purple, we'll paint everything except the trim. Get a good strong colour, so use a couple coats. I used 3, but I had thinned the paint a little more than I usually do. Also, get the inside of the jacket. Using Resplendent Purple, we can highlight all of the areas of the jacket. Keep the paint thin and use a couple layers to build a nice highlight. Next, we'll thin down some purple wash and apply it to the jacket. You'll have to be very careful with a few areas during this step, so I'd suggest using a smaller brush to give you maximum control. Go back to Resplendent Purple and paint in a series of circles. This copies the pattern on the box art, so feel free to do any pattern you wish, or if you're not feeling confident, just do a normal highlight. With the circle pattern, I just use 1 layer of thinned purple, so you still get some of the tones from the previous layers. If you want to re-establish any of the darker purples around the pattern, just use Vexing Purple. I ended up cleaning up a couple areas like that. For the yellows, we'll start with the best yellow I've ever used, Spotlight Yellow. Paint all of the trim on the jacket with this. Give it a couple layers to get a good strong colour. Using thinned umber wash, give all of the yellow areas a wash to give us some nice shading. Be sure to get the undersides of them too, they're easy to overlook. Highlight the yellows with Capri Sunshine Yellow. Keep a nice sharp point on your brush and catch the edges of the trim. It'll make them really jump out at you. Now we'll get the metallics done. Starting with Ducat Gold, paint the lamp, the coins in the coin bag, and the fez tassel. Although Ducat Gold has good coverage, I like to give it a second coat to ensure I got everything covered, particularly on the coins. Thin some flesh wash and apply to the gold. Flesh wash is excellent for giving gold a slight red tone. Highlight the gold with counterfeit gold after the wash has dried. This will give our gold a nice shine. Highlight the gold areas with Platinum Star Metal. Just catch the edges of the fez tassel and coins. On a couple coins you can have a diagonal line through them to really emphasise the shine, but on the lamp, think of the highlight being an oval on the curves. Don't paint it too large on the lamp, it's better to paint it smaller than too big. Rostani Trader has little claws that need painting, so thin down some black and carefully paint in the claws. As they are small, we don't need to worry about highlighting them. Once the black paint is dry, we can get Rostani Trader on his new base, and he's ready to get between the ropes and bribe the crowd.